hills and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance to spit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I dry my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as a judge.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. This is episode 57. I'm Matty. I'm joined by John and Colin tonight. Colin, how are you doing?
I'm very good. How are you?
Aye, bro, mate. Bro, what have you been up to?
Just watching the St Johnstone game, just having a laugh at that. So aye, that was. I enjoyed that, even though we should be supporting the Scottish teams, but I couldn't help myself.
What can you do?
Enjoyed that. Aye,
Well,
the only
well,
was
you-
the last 20 minutes, half an hour, but no, that was enough.
They were the best bits, like the highlights. You could just skip the first half. John, what about you? How are you doing?
Good. I should be really tired because I was up for about 4 o'clock this morning. The bairns started waking up during the night. Everything
man.
started to go Pete Tong. So I was up for 4, and then tagged in with the missus and got the bairn back to sleep while she went back to sleep herself.
Decent.
Modern
Decent.
man.
Aye.
You working? You back to work?
Aye. Working from home.
Is she still in maternity?
Aye.
So why the fuck are you doing that?
Modern.
Is that not her job?
She sounded like she needed a wee break.
I've been up every night with the dog, yeah. It's
How's wee Bailey getting on?
all right. He's been a wee bit bitey the last couple of days. It's like he's got comfortable in the surroundings now, and he's got a right thing for the bottom of my jeans. Yes, if I take him out in the back garden, he'll be all right for a couple of minutes, and he just latches on. He's like, kind of like Doug's there. They kind of, so that's a lot of fun trying to detach him and then get him focused on something else. But
Is
and
his
he's,
teeth coming in like? Is it
I
teething
think-
already?
I think that's what's happening with him, because you can give him like one of his chews and he's all right with that, or a toy to chew on. But then he comes, as soon as you move, it's like it's a wee beacon for him, and he's like, I'm going back for the legs again.
You need to train them out of that, because
Oh,
that's
aye,
the kind of bother I'm having with mine.
aye,
She's over a
definitely,
year
no.
old now. Aye.
No one I'm keeping doing that. And the other things we're teaching him to sit, and he's really good at it. But he's clocked when we go outside, because normally you give him a wee treat once he's done a piss or a shit outside. He'll just sit and he'll wait for his treat. So he's going, I could get the treats here without having to do the business. I just all I have to do is sit down. So
Aye, they're not daft.
aye, there's this wee bit kind of negotiating with him now. We say, right, you can have one, and then but you need to do this and shit next before you get your next one. And he still looks at you and then goes for your legs. But he's been better at night times than that, sleeping a bit better. He's just trying to chew the door frame there, get stop it.
Are you having to get up through the night to take him out to the toilet?
Aye, several times. So it's like almost an hour. Almost. Last night was better. He was a couple of hours in between. Again, he was pining, and I took him out and didn't know what anything. Had a wee run about. Came back in, just tried to get him back in his bed. But
I remember dragging the Doug after he'd had his jags, and he was whining downstairs. I ended up dragging him round one of his usual sort of poo walks, like the wee one that you do last thing at night or sometimes first thing in the morning. I ended up taking him fucking miles, and he would not shit. Ended up
Aye.
having to give up, come back in.
you wonder if they get stage fright. Like you can, so you've mentioned stage fright before. Everybody's had it at some point, where maybe that's just he feels a bit under pressure to perform and decides he's not going to do it.
Last night when I took him out, he made the motion of going to squat and have a shit, and he got maybe 20% of the way down, and then I don't know if something spooked him, if he just decided that I'm not doing it, but then he just stood up and walked off again. I'm thinking, well, you've indicated that you need a shite, so I need to keep walking about until you do.
It's trolling you. If you are a dog and you're listening and you do get stage fright, text it at 80295 and let us know about it. Right, we'll get some questions on. I'll just put 25 minutes on the clock here, and we'll see what folk have got to ask us about this time. Right, so first question, 150k on Hanlon Hill says, Harry Potter is on TV. 12 folk have just turned into Harry, and not one has looked in their pants at his Tadger. If one of them had been you, would you have looked at Potter's Pecker? Potter's Putter, he put actually. So
Potter's Park.
Putter. Potter's Putter.
Potter's Putter. This is like that nursery rhyme, eh? Peter Piper picked a pot of pickled peppers.
Picked a bit of Potter's Putter.
Aye.
Would you have a wee look to see what he was packing?
So
How did
basically
the boy?
looking,
Aye,
looking at
'cause
your own pants,
aye.
effectively.
aye, but you would be him. Did,
I don't remember. I've read the Harry Potter books. I don't remember 12 people turning into Harry Potter.
right? How's that relevant to the question, John? It was on TV. It was in the film. Would you have a look? That's the question.
I think I would. No.
Would you know what to
What's got
see if you had a magic wand?
What I was going to suggest was, well, I don't know. I was going to suggest if you were going to have a look and you had the power of casting spells, would you fuck with Harry Potter a wee bit and give him like, I don't know, a wee pencil dick, for example, just leave him with that. But if there's multiple Harry Potters, would you just be changing your own dick? Would you be spiting yourself?
Well, I don't know. I can how magic works. I've never watched all the Harry Potter films. I've seen bits of all of them, but never. I don't think I've watched any of them end to end.
No, same here. I've seen the first 15 minutes of the first one 3 or 4 times, and I fell asleep every single time.
Do you remember
Just
Quantum
after
Leap?
he's getting bullied.
Did he ever have a wee look? Because that was effectively what happened to him every episode, wasn't it? It turned out somebody else's.
Turned to somebody else, aye. Well, women
Body.
and everything.
Aye.
Oh man, this dog's been a fuck.
So you get for
Thank
bringing
God
on the
it's
show.
not. No, it's her. Fucking
That
Right,
must be a bit
good.
weird. Like, if so, what was the actor's name? Was it Scott Bakula or Scott Bakula, depending on their pronunciation? If
Neither.
you are yourself, but you quantum leap and you're in someone else's body, how does that work if you're shagging someone and they've got a bigger dick or a smaller dick than you?
I would imagine you would get the perks or the drawbacks.
Aye, do you feel the perks or do you feel like an absence if you've got a smaller dick? Do you know what I mean?
I think you'd probably feel the
You
perk,
would
wouldn't
still
you?
get the same feeling, wouldn't you? You would still get the same.
Aye,
Do you know, surely?
because
Well,
I
it's
don't
still you that
you'd have bigger hands and things like that as well. Do you know?
Like for all the episodes that were like quantum leap, that was one aspect that was never explored.
was like the late night one, late night quantum leap.
Channel 5.
Right into them. I thought it was shite Quantum Leap, to be fair. I never really took to it.
I like the
I never-
concept.
I've seen a few of them, but I don't know how it ended. I assume he got back into his own body. Yeah.
Aye, every episode I could just work through that he just fixed things and then ended up back as normal. Didn't care if it ever went wrong for him.
No, he went to the next body, didn't he? And that's how the
Did he
episode
not-
ended.
Oh, so right enough.
So he was in the next one and go, fuck, I'm in the 1960s now, sort of thing. And then
Aye.
the next one he'd be like somewhere else. But I assume the last one, we could easily Google this. Like, or just get somebody to text it in.
Text it to
Keep it
80295.
presumably, aye.
Right, next question. 150k on Hamlin Hill against. Is this a question for Shortbangers? Should we uninvent video camera phones so these melters have to tote about a JVC VHS home cam? Maybe make them think twice about making helmets of themselves in their cars. So this was if you saw the Arsenal fan who was filming himself in his car, absolutely losing his mind.
Arse of a fan, I think.
Aye, arse
It
of
was
a
an
fan.
actor, eh? It was an actor. That's not a real reaction.
It's like the Kilmarnock boy, yeah, the Gordon Sawyers or something his name is. That's
Aye.
it's put on. Has to be
It's
put on.
Outrageously
But there is
put on.
there is an appetite for people making a fud of themselves, like debasing themselves for money. Like
Well,
even if the
here we
boys
are.
take, well, I still try to make money. Aye. So like I think Arsenal fan TV. I think from a football fan perspective, I think they started it. Like the worse that Arsenal got, the more money that they made. The more idiots. Sorry.
Aye.
The more people went on to vent their spleen in the manner that they did, the more money that they made.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
But then you had that was that boy Liam Fox, is that his name? Lawrence Fox.
The failed actor.
Oh, Lawrence Fox. Oh.
And Katie Hopkins, that's their approach to life, though, isn't it? It's like they say something outrageous and then make money on the back of it. Bob Agnew, the highest order of that. So if you had to carry about a big old school camcorder, would folk be arsed? Obviously no, because nobody did it.
Maybe that'll be their purgatory. Like they'll have to drag one up a hill relentlessly for eternity,
Aye.
chained to their ankle, chained to their shoulder, just chained to every limb.
get to the top of the hill and find out that they forgot to press record.
Aye.
It is a total change from when we were younger, the way. Like everywhere that you see folk now is out with the camera.
Aye.
I was at a concert. I was at Damon Albarn concert the other night, and as soon as he came on the stage, everybody standing up with their cameras out, and you can see them like that. You're standing looking at it through a camera rather than looking at it. It's mental.
I
Like,
refuse to do it. Like, see, for gigs and that, I didn't do it. Like, for that very reason. And sometimes I regret it because you get back and you think, oh, I probably should have taken some photos of that, but you've lived it. It's like how we went to Loch Lomond for Oasis. No cameras or nothing there. That was a great weekend.
I've never seen any
remember
photos of that ever. Like, there's been a couple I've seen kicking about recently because it's 25 years, but it's like never seen an actual photo. That whole thing, the whole day. It's like it's for people your age. It was like the big thing to do. Yeah. There would have been nowadays. Well, they would have enjoyed it as much. That was just before camera phones. Mobiles were about, but no.
Aye, it was basic mobile phones back then. I think they even kind of get text messaging, and that the text messages came a wee while after, like the mobile phones were popular. Aye, mind folk kicking about with pagers and that.
I never had one of them, but
I never had a pager. I just never got the point of pagers.
I've never understood it either. Like, see, if you watch what's it called, Grey's Anatomy, and the doctors are all getting paged and whatnot, I can understand that. Like, you're needed in such and such a place, perfect, like instant information at your fingertips. But see, if you were like, see, in this day and age, if pagers were still a thing, and you were to get something attached to your waist that said "phone me," you go, "Fuck off."
Totally, you would just not be paying any attention to it at all.
But I paged you, aye.
But I paged you, aye. So now I've got to go and find, because back then, if you didn't have a mobile phone, which presumably you didn't because you were on a pager, you then have to go and find a phone to use to phone them and hope that they'd included their phone number. All right. Next question, and who's the next question from? Portrush Punk says, for the next Shortbangers, in the previous episode, both my son, Kieran Heaney, and I had questions read out. Bar the hosts, have there been any other father-sons combos appearing in the same episode? Do we win a prize? And who would be the best combo? Darth and Luke, maybe. So if you could get a father-son combination on, who would it be?
I can't even think any. It's got John stumped, eh?
What? There must be God and Jesus. There you go. And you could, do you know, that would prove a few folk right, a few folk wrong, if we could do that.
Funny you say this. I actually said to someone earlier that I didn't believe that there was a God, so that would prove me wrong.
Yeah, I didn't believe either, mate. But let's say that would definitely do it. What about? It's hard getting the ones folk that are alive because you could have like Kirk and Michael Douglas. But
that's what I was thinking. And Will Smith's lad, he's famous as well, isn't he?
Aye.
I don't have the name on.
Why not?
Because he's a wee dick.
Racist. Kirk Douglas and Michael Douglas is all right, but Will Smith isn't he? All right, John.
Michael Douglas is a bit of a dick as well, but at least he had some good films.
Okay, well, Charlie Sheen would be quite good to get on. His old man was president in West One, wasn't he?
Aye.
Who do you think we've got more chance of getting on? Charlie Sheen or Brian? And are they the same person?
They work moving the same circles.
The same folk. They can have Charlie Sheen could keep up with Brian. Good question. I don't know. Father-son combination with football. I feel like for the world of football, there must be players who were around when
Derek and Lewis Ferguson.
Look at them
on next week.
Can you imagine it? So sometimes kind of like we struggle for conversation, but can you imagine with them? You're asking Derek this question, Derek Ferguson is going, "What's a father?"
He can only read it. He can only read what you've written for him as well.
Like, a father is like your dad, right? What's a son? Is that like in the sky? Oh, just forget it, Derek. Doesn't matter. Barry, put the crayons down. Oh, Lewis Ferguson. I got the wrong Ferguson. There's me pretending they're idiots saying I get the wrong fucking name. There we go. Right. Matt says, my brain, discuss, please. And it was, how should cats wear pants? And it was like a cat with a pair of jeans coming over its back legs, covering its halfway up its waist. And then another cat with jeans covering all four legs and its underbelly. and coming kind of halfway up its waist.
I think the first way would be the correct
Like
way.
if you can sort of
Nah, it's too light, it's too bright.
that's a pity.
Colin, have you ever got a jacket for your dog for when they're out in the rain?
Mhm.
So that's like the reverse of what's been asked. It covers our top
Aye.
half, am I right?
Yeah,
Aye,
it
get
goes
the
well.
legs with it.
Aye, you've put it on. Aye, the two legs around the front legs, and then it zips up for the bottom. So aye,
So
but it covers her whole body.
does it?
Leaves her arse so can have a piss and a shit in that, obviously.
Peepholes, like
Aye,
sexy jackets.
It definitely is just the back two legs because they're like our legs.
Mhm.
Their front paws have got a wee bit dexterity about them. So that'd just be
Aye.
like us having trousers on our arms.
Yeah.
You know I'm right.
I'm going with it. Right. Williams is your favourite luxury piss, balls out or seated? So
Trousers around the ankles, balls out, middle of the street, 3 o'clock in the morning, buried.
we went to Oktoberfest. That was not last year, the year before, and we were in Edinburgh Airport. And I bumped into John Collins. He was at the table next to us, right? So I had a wee chat with him. And then after speaking to John Collins, I'd gone to the toilet. So you come out of the wee lounge bit we were in, going to the toilet. And as I come through the toilet, which is heaved, mate Baxter, who's with us, is standing at the urinal with his pants and trousers around his ankles.
Like a wee bin, like a 3-year-old laddie just standing in the piss.
He done it seeing my mother mate who was with us was sort of like 30 seconds behind him going to the toilet. So he pretty much done it as a surprise for him to come through. And he got the bonus that I got the surprise as well. What goes through your head to do that? Like this,
It's probably 5 to 10 pints and a couple
aye,
of
that
those. It's
probably
going
would
through
have done it.
Aye.
You done the lounge airports before for when you're going away?
Aye,
The airport lounge.
Yeah.
Great idea. It's like way better than going to the Weatherspoons. We were we were in Baxter. So the beer must have gone to his head because we were sitting and one of the other boys had said to him, "When you're up in the buffet, go and bring me back some afters." So he's got a bowl and he comes over and he puts the bowl down. It's like 3 digestive biscuits. And he says, "What's that?" And he just punched. He says, "There's your afters." I was like, where did that come from? But, aye, that was a good trip. I'd recommend it. Anyway, best.
You didn't
best
like
piss.
mixing with the riffraff, eh? Like you go in airport lounges, you sit in the West Stand.
Aye.
It's a riff-raff in with him, by the sounds
Do
of it.
that. That's it. Sitting down or balls out? John, you said balls out?
Balls
3 in the
out,
morning.
aye, definitely.
Colin?
I didn't really sit down to do it.
Never ever.
It's because you're a man's man, eh?
I think I am. I think that's what it is.
I like a wee sit down one every now and again.
Toxic,
It's
is it toxic masculinity, you call it? Or
Aye.
John?
Aye, toxic masculinity. Toxic piss.
It's a wee treat every now and again.
Are
Right.
you just out of curiosity? I saw this years ago when I was in the bogs, and it's always puzzled me. But are you an underhand or an overhand? What's your preferred method when you're holding it?
Under.
Aye, the reason I'm asking is that I saw someone overhand in the bogs.
I've seen that before. Was he leaning on the wall as well?
Oh, when they float to that, Kevin, they stand
I
like
didn't care,
It might have been.
but the overhanders, I think, in my experience, they're usually leaning on the wall as well.
Is it because
who showed them how to do that? Like,
No idea.
Because
Mystic Meisner, everybody doing this.
aye,
You know?
Am I doing it wrong?
am I doing it wrong? What's happening that you're having to head onto the wall to force a pee out? Okay, right. Paul McKay says, what products should be geographically renamed to make them sound better, e.g. French fries invented in Belgium but named French? So it's something from somewhere that should sound like it was from somewhere else to make it better. Like Turkish Delight if it wasn't for Turkey.
Right. Or Belgian chocolate.
The Greenock Delight.
The Greenock Delight, nobody would having that. The noble chicken.
Make it sound more exotic. Turkish Delight does have that What is it? What was the tagline for the advert? Was it an air of the Orient or something?
Oh, it's a good question. I can't remember what that was. Taste of the Orient.
Taste of the Orient. Was that it?
I'm not
Sounds
sure.
about right.
I'm not sure if that.
Google it.
You Google it.
You get different Turkish delights as well, eh? You get the one, like, you didn't get proper Turkish delight, hasn't got chocolate in it, has it?
Yeah. So
The ones
that
over here have the bee.
powdery rice and sugar stuff here that you get on it.
Yeah.
Better with chocolate on it. Most things are,
Aye.
to be fair.
It's better, but it's still I'm still not a big fan.
I
Anyway.
quite like a wee bit of Turkish delight. I don't know, it wouldn't be my go-to chocolate, but
Taste of the Orient is going to be a Chinese and Dunfermline, isn't it?
aye, no doubt.
You just sent me doing a
01383.
Southern Leith said, what do people who are born deaf hear when they think? So we hear or speak to ourselves when thinking, but do deaf people imagine sign language when they think?
I think we never had this question before, but we had a question about folks' internal dialogue. Some
Yep.
people hear themselves speak, and I think other
It's a
people
start,
hear
isn't it?
pictures. And I'm assuming that a deaf person, someone born deaf, has that internal dialogue, but I don't know how you would communicate that. Like, I wonder what it would no sound like to us, but it must be it must be kind of unique to them.
Yep. Aye, it's a funny one because the blind one I think was quite easy. Actually, you know how do blind people dream like that? Can they see in their dreams? And it was quite easy to answer because you can look it up actually. And folk who had sight at some point remember what it was like, and that's so that their memory is able to play back vision in their dreams. But if they were blind all their life, they wouldn't have that because there's no reference point. And if the same must be true then if you were deaf all your life, you wouldn't be able to. And again, how that would work? How would
I
you?
wonder if you know how they say that when you lose one of your senses, that the other senses become heightened. So I wonder if someone born blind, if they don't have any concept of colours and shapes and like the ability to dream, I wonder if they hear their dreams.
Who knows?
I wonder
Well,
if
somebody will, aye, but
because you get. Am I right in like? I can't think of having sound in my dreams, but you have the concept of communication taking place, don't you?
yeah, you have definitely dreamt conversations and things like that.
Aye.
I dreamt I did a whole fucking sales pitch at Easter Road one time to be an agent. I can't remember if I've talked about that before on the podcast. It was one of the dreams that I had that where I have a reason to wake up in the morning. It was
you
so
get
for
higher?
turning off my alarm. Aye. I was doing well. My alarm was going off, and I was like, I didn't have to answer my alarm because I've got this job at Easter Road, so therefore my real work can wait. That's how that happens all the time with me. No, not always at Easter Road, but I'll have things that in my dream it seems very, very real, and it's reasons not to get up. There you go. All right, we'll move on from that. I think Ken, if how that would work if you were deaf, how you think. Obviously, you have to be able to think. So somebody can genuinely answer that for us because I would love to know the answer.
I've actually just written down deaf people, blind people, dreams, and I was going to contact the respective institutes and ask them nicely, what's the chat?
Then I can I'll look them up and see what they're doing, and they're just like we're taking the piss, John. So even though we're genuinely aren't they? But
we are QI for idiots.
Yeah. Aye. Right, Son and Leith again. Next question. You know how on TV you can sometimes choose your commentary option? Would you like to hear two opposing fans commentate on games in total honesty, like, oh, for fuck's sake, that was a piss poor strike, get him off? I'd watch any game with that option.
Sky Sports tried that years ago. No, with the swearing. Mind, it was shite.
Aye. Fan view or something it was called,
Aye. So they used to try, you could pick your camera angle, you could press the red button, you would do that, and then you could
follow one particular player.
The screen, follow a player cam, and the two fucking idiots in the studio.
Aye.
Right.
It's fair to say that commentators, for all their flaws, are better than that.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I just prefer to mute it.
Yep. And
just watch it with no sound as well, rather than having fucking two idiots talking shite all the time over it.
The Gaelic option's quite good on Alpa.
I hardly ever mute that.
No, same here. It's on. It's quite soothing.
It's noise, but it's no. Stephen Thompson.
Do you
Chris
know?
Boyd.
Do you think it's reflective of the fact that a lot of the time you watch it, if the game was on the TV, you're kind of watching it, but you're also fanning about with your phone. So even if it was commentary in English, you're only really half listening to it anyway. So the fact that it's just background noise, it just merges in, and they get the same sort of tone as an English-speaking commentator. So you sort of follow what's happening anyway.
Aye. But I'm like Colin, I tend not to listen to the commentary. It's secondary to like the game on the pitch. And apologies to anyone that found my description of BBC Alba as noise. It gives the illusion of commentary without actually having to, like, it gives a full experience of the game, but I'm not actually listening to it anyway.
Not just for our Gaelic listeners.
Aye, we apologise to Gaelic
we're-
listeners.
We are big in the Outer Hebrides.
Aye,
Tens of listeners.
tens of, yeah. Junior said that if Boyle and Sproul were in a Hibs relay team, who would the other two runners be?
Well, I can only think of one off the top of my head, but it's the obvious one as well. It's O'Brien, isn't it? Because we were told how quick he was going to be.
On a Sproul on a motorbike.
Yeah.
Was it Arthur Duncan? He was meant to have been a bit quick back in the day.
So we're saying Alan O'Brien and Arthur Duncan.
Are we convinced O'Brien's fast enough?
I'm not even convinced he'd run in the right fucking direction, Colin. It was fucking hopeless. Alan O'Brien. Mind, we paid money for him. Mind, like, being quite excited that he was going to be this really good signing, and he was murder.
But that's the problem, isn't it? As soon as, because we weren't paying money for anybody back then it was the same when James Collins came in to an extent. Although he scored a couple of goals, and he was playing in a shite team. But because we paid money for him, and because we didn't sign Griffiths for 150 grand at the time, then the pressure was on him. The paper talked him up. Even the BBC and that were saying that. So the expectations are higher in the first place. That's not to say I'm not saying he was any good, but the expectations are higher, which makes it worse when he isn't any good.
Did they ever do anything good?
O'Brien
put in one cross for Fletcher.
And that was at a derby
against Gretna or Sunday.
Was it?
When Fletcher shouldered that off the shoulder and in.
Was that O'Brien or was it Dennis Rosa that crossed that? I mean him.
Oh fuck, I remember the name.
Oh, didn't tell me it was Rosa, because I've been telling folk it was O'Brien. That was his one good thing that he done.
He definitely had one good game.
Aye, I'm sure Dennis Rosa was involved in that goal, but I could be wrong. It's been a while away. Charlie B, would you rather lose all your fingers or your toes?
Aye.
John.
I can't go for a blend here. It's just one or the other, aye.
Excuse me.
Aye. That's either all your fingers or all your toes. You can't have like all your toes on your right foot and your fingers on your left foot.
What was the question?
Would you rather lose all your fingers or all your toes?
See, my initial reaction is my toes, but then that does that not affect your balance in that? Your toes, they kind of.
All you would need to do is get weighted shoes, though, just like a wee bit weight in the front of your shoes, and that would help with it. I would much rather lose my toes. If you think about it, what are your toes actually good for? Because
for balance in that, is that not?
Well,
thing, is it?
I suppose balance is overrated, but when it's cold, your toes are the first thing to annoy you, so that would take care of that. It's an extra 10 sets of nails you didn't have to bother about if they're away.
They're horrible to cut as well. Yeah.
Aye.
Did you see the Paralympian the other day who's got no arms, who was playing table tennis with the bat in his mouth?
Aye.
How incredible was that?
I know. And he's playing against somebody with hands or arms, wasn't he, as well? He wasn't even... So wasn't it... Because I thought like they categorise them in the Paralympics. Like you get your T, whatever, numbers and that. And that means different categories of disability or, whatever, if it's arms or feet or legs or whatever. But he was playing a bat in his mouth against a guy with arms. And
he threw the ball up. I don't know if you still call it throwing if you're using your feet, but he threw the ball up with his feet. So, but I don't know if there was like a wee special implement attached to his shoe, but that's surely one reason for keeping your toes. Because there's been other people, like artists who've got no arms, who use their feet to paint.
Yeah. Well, Christy Brown, My Left Foot. That was based on a true story, wasn't it? He painted with his left foot, if I remember right. But
I'll have to take your word for it.
I would rather keep my fingers and lose my toes. I think there are several advantages to losing your toes. I can't think of any advantages to losing your fingers. How do you? What approach do you take to cutting your toenails?
I put. Oh, no, let go jungle.
I was just going to say, if you lose your fingers, how are you wiping your arse?
I would do what Doug's do. Can we got that?
Just slide down a hill.
100%. And folk would know what a question it is, because you'd be like, well. Aye, toenails. John, how are you cutting them?
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
You're
what
going
do
to
you
have
do
to get
last
someone else to do it.
Do you get somebody else to cut your toenails?
No, I would say if you didn't have fingers, you would have to get someone else to cut them for you.
Oh, right. John's miles away. John, Colin, we'll move on. That's time up on that episode. Thanks for sending in the questions, John. Hopefully you're more present for the next episode. You want to answer it?
No, I did want to, but I could have. But I thought John had an answer.
John's answer was fucking useless. What was
How do you cut your toenails?
What approach do you take to cut your toenails?
Got a wee set of toenail clippers in one of the drawers in the bathroom.
But wait, like, do you sit in the bed and do it, or do you?
I usually do it after a shower. Just 1 foot up on the bath, clip, 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 just in case think I've got 3 toes.
Just counting.
I am similar. I do it on the pan. Lean foot up on the pan and
you've got to do it after you've been in the shower or after a bath. That softens them up a wee bit.
Aye. That's what I do on the side of the bath. It's hard with the fatter I've got though. That's one of the reasons I need to slim down, because you get less dexterous to be able to fucking manoeuvre. So, right. Thanks very much for listening. We will catch you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.